My guest today says online that we've stopped searching and we've started whispering. And if you understand what that means, you understand everything about where marketing is heading. This is Through Your Lens, and for the second time, this is Phil Ohren. Phil, welcome back to the show.
How are you, buddy? Good to see you.
I'm really well. You are the first, I think, two-time podcast champion.
Awesome.
Congratulations.
I hope that's a good thing.
It is. You must have been awesome the first time around.
Awesome. Thanks.
No, you do have a brilliant mind when it comes to marketing, especially in this new digital age of AI and everything changing like each day it feels like.
Yep.
Do you follow those Instagram channels that goes the latest in AI this week?
Yep.
Scares the hell out of me.
It does. I've actually snoozed a few of those lately.
Man, because it's just like, me too, because it's just like the latest this week and I have a look and this robot's doing this and AI is doing that and I was like, just slow down. Just let me catch a breath, catch up. But anyway, for our listeners and our viewers at home, today I guess is just a little bit of a check-in of where we are at in the world of marketing in general and AI, I guess, at the moment.
Mid-revolution?
Mid-revolution maybe.
Yep.
And who better than to have yourself on? So thank you for coming in again.
Thank you. It is a pleasure to be here.
So define a bit for us, I guess, like what Google did and now what AI is doing. You know, Google was asking you, what do you want to find? Mm-hmm. And then AI is sort of like, what do you want to confess?
Yeah, I think again, Google has moved from you tell me what you want to what are your deepest, darkest secrets. What's scary about that is we as marketers can't see those like we used to be able to in Google. Mm. So what I loved about old marketing was I could collect, see, respond, optimize to the search volumes and the search intent of those queries. Now with conversations that are being had in these platforms, it's actually like therapy. And instead of people just looking to find a product, they're kind of looking to solve a symptom. They're looking for their solutions. They're telling AI things they would never tell Google. Again, in the old days, it was like, when I'm dead, delete my search history. Now it's like delete my conversations. And again, what is the process when you die at the moment with those things? Again, Facebook had to do that a long time ago because of the public information and media you left on yourself. But, your search history doesn't seem anywhere near as incriminating as your kind of your chat history.
Much more incriminating.
Totally.
Where is it ending up? Where is it? In someone's hands somewhere on another side of the world?
Yeah. I think, at the moment it will be. I think that is, again, just making the model stronger and stronger and stronger. I think we're at we're not quite at the same number of neurons as a human brain, but we're pretty damn close now. And what I loved about the Claude CEO recently was saying that they just don't know how it works and they're open about that. And I think fundamentally recently we've seen a massive shift of people going from GPT to Claude. Some of that is politically minded. Some of that is people have started to mature with how they're searching already. How they're having these conversations and how they're prompting. Which again, we're now starting to get fragmentation of AI. Like GPT still is the leader. Meta technically is number 2, but Meta's only technically number 2 because of its forced. What Zuckerberg does so well is force his products into the ecosystem, and so you could look at Meta being number 2 popularity for AI as a bit of an asterisk on that one. And then, Claude is probably the fastest growing one at the moment, I would say.
So what do we do about it as marketers, I guess, and businesses out there? Like, how do we leverage it? We're not going to change it overnight. It's not going to go back to the way things are.
Yep.
So how do we actually make it useful for us and businesses?
Yeah. I think we need to make it useful I'd probably say we should make it useful by trying to understand why someone is doing this, not what they're doing. I think the pathway to products now has moved from something very public to being something very private. And then what we see come out of the end of these chats is more often not a product search, brand search, less around a question, less around informational searches and things like that as well. And so for marketers, that's what's become a real headache is trying to attribute what I'm doing working. And so where I'm seeing a big shift in many brands at the moment is they they are typically finding that they are spending more than ever in paid media. And in many cases, they are choosing to do that because if they pay with paid media, they can see someone come out tangibly straight away. Whereas if they do PR, if they do GEO or SEO or content marketing, the lines are really blurry there because it goes into this black hole of privacy, or, you know, again, when I say not privacy, but a private moment.
Yeah.
And as a result, marketers, CMOs, boards are like, yeah, but we can't really measure that. So how do we forecast across that?
Yeah.
So as a result, we've got to kind of be uncomfortable, and you know, we've got to embrace that We've got to embrace that uncomfortableness, and ensure that we're okay with that, or we're going to be over a barrel of paid media all the time.
So you mentioned that people are wasting money in this space still.
Yeah, I'd say honestly, most brands are wasting at least 40% of their media, and I can say that with confidence with the amount of paid media audits I've done lately for huge brands, skincare brands, e-commerce brands. It doesn't matter what it is. 40% of their paid media investment is ineffective at driving an outcome. Now, when I say an outcome, that may be a sale, something low funnel, but it also might be a mid funnel kind of outcome, like they've gone to the pricing page, they've gone to check out the product. And that wastage is mounting up and getting higher and higher. However, with the introduction of Advantage Plus, which the new version of Advantage Plus is pretty incredible on Meta, and AI Max has gotten pretty good too. They are getting better at closing the journeys and having much more accuracy with what they're doing in media. But the challenge that I'm seeing is that it's actually cannibalization of brand intent. And what I mean by that is these AI-assisted media campaigns are actually swooping in at the last minute to get someone who is searching a brand message or a brand product, as I mentioned earlier, and then taking the credit for it under the awareness campaign.
Okay.
And so as a result, we're seeing lower CPAs for acquisition in TikTok, Meta, and Google. But when we really look under the hood in there, the data suggests that it's actually already people that were primed and are going to buy.
Right.
So I think my BS detector is heavily scrutinizing those platforms at the moment. It's not to say I don't use them. I love them. But again, I'm advising clients that it does look good, but remember that walled garden is getting taller and taller. And when we can't peep over the fence anymore and really see what's under the hood. And so my advice to brands are do a paid media audit, take a step back. Doing a paid media audit can often save you more money than you believe.
How much are we talking?
Like
How much
if you spend 20 or 30 grand on an audit, you might save $1 million. All right. So it's probably the highest ROI activity you could do. The challenge is, what are you auditing? How are you ordering it? And how are you auditing it? And how are you going to action the insights? Because you can easily fall into the trap of optimizing your campaigns to zero with a paid media audit. What that means is you start pulling away stuff that's ineffective, and before you know it, your reach is gone. But that in itself is a learning, because it means potentially you aren't saying the right thing in the right place at the right time, and your product doesn't necessarily solve the things that you're trying to say to the audience. And so again, doing a paid media audit with your agency or whatever that is a big outlay. Its return on investment is going to be insane. Like it'd be like 40 or 50x return on investment.
Yeah. Well, so what does winning look like for a brand in this day and age? What do we do about it?
To be honest, in 2026, shifted a lot of what Intender's doing from implementation to consulting. And so what it looks like for a brand that's winning now is going back to actual product. What does a product solve? Are we aware of all the things our products solve? Are we even telling consumers about the things our product solves?
Do you think they've moved away from that and just like, here's a picture of it, throw it into Facebook Meta, let it do the work?
But I think when brands are doing what you just said there, they're outsourcing that what does your product solve exercise.
Yes.
And I think if AI platforms like Meta, Advantage Plus, and Google AI Max are going to do that for you, then you can't be you can't be upset with the fact that they're not going to tell you what they found,
Mm.
because again, they just want your repeat custom.
Mm.
So I think brands that are winning right now have got a good balance of they are feeding the bots with context, but they're also driving that context with signals. So again, if you've realized that your product actually solves this for a small audience, you have two choices. You can do that in paid media with ads, or you can do it with, owned media and ads simultaneously. And I feel like what I'm seeing more at the moment is product enrichment with LLMs at the moment than I am necessarily new product development.
What does enrichment mean?
So say, for example, you are going to organize a 6th birthday party that's unicorn themed. Imagine you go to a big retailer in Australia, like any of the big 3 or 4. You might, you're not going to go into their search box and type in unicorn themed party in that box, but you might go to GPT and do that, or you might go to Claude and do that. Where I'm sort of worried for retailers is because they can't necessarily change their SKUs themselves, they don't necessarily have the ability to do product enrichment. And because they can't do product enrichment or page enrichment, they're slowly slipping away from their utility as as a product advisor. So what my advice to those kind of brands is like, you need to be okay with shifting how you help people. If you've gotten someone to come to your homepage, and whether it's Target or, a Big W or whatever it is, it doesn't matter. What are you actually asking them on the homepage? Search my products, or are you going to go deeper into how can I help you? And I think the brands that are winning at the moment are the ones leaning into the how can I help you call to action that we're seeing in Claude and GPT and Gemini, more so than the search here type behavior that we've seen in old Google and old Bing.
So every website, like a Big W or a Target or a motor vehicle company or whoever, they will have those, right? In who knows, 6 months, 1 year, 2 years.
I hope so.
They'd be wanting to do it probably pretty soon, implementing an LLM.
Which means, the fragmentation we've seen in search, we're going to see that in LLMs too. I wouldn't be surprised if retailers had their own mini GPTs, search indexes running on their products. Their Ask Jeeves equivalent, right? I think we spoke about this last time. Ask Jeeves was so ahead of its time. Yeah. The world wasn't ready for a concierge butler to help you. Yeah. And it's a real travesty that ask.com is just a mirror of Google search results right now, because technically it always was and always will be about someone wanting help for a problem. Yeah. And so retailers and brands need to lean into that.
So isn't that great?
Yeah, it's
good. We're all going to live in a beautiful world where everything we ask for will be delivered exactly how we asked.
Totally. I need to be careful about what I wish for, because the vision of Intender was always to make advertising useful, not annoying. And again, 6 years into that, I'm like, whoa, I didn't expect that to have manifested in the way it did.
Yeah. Your dream to come true.
Totally. Because I think the reality is people still don't like ads. No one likes ads. I'm sorry. Just everybody you ask on the street, they don't. Yeah. But they're unavoidable, and they're almost a necessary evil, unfortunately. And I think even brand managers don't like ads either. And so with GPT and Gemini, there will be a paid model coming soon. I hope that model is a cost per conversation rather than a cost per click. And again, as a paid marketer, I hope that with my purchase of that paid conversation, I might get some sort of summary as to what that conversation was about. Again, as we mentioned earlier, like these conversations people are having are incredibly private. It's not the same as the keywords that people were typing into Google that we used to be able to scrape.
So at this point in time, have any of the large language models said that we will do paid media?
It's coming for sure.
It's coming.
Yeah, like GPT has a waitlist, so to speak. Gemini is in the process of doing it, and again,
so the floodgates will really open whenever they call it. Really,
I think so. But I think one of the risks for the industry on their side of the fence is Google's making so much money right now with waste, i.e., if you rewind even 5 years ago, you would have done 160 searches on average to purchase a car, right? Right from model comparison to purpose, whether you need a 7-seat SUV or cars with a sliding door or cars with 7 seats and stuff like that, whatever it is. Those symptoms are in decline in Google itself, but they've not gone away. They're just trapped now in a private conversation.
Yeah.
And so Google, as a result, has a bit of a crisis on its hand where it might have made, and again, I'm making these numbers up, it might have made $10 million a day off the upper funnel.
Yep.
But it's kind of missing out on that now in a pure advertiser revenue perspective on a click model. So for Google stock to keep going up, it needs to find another way to make money in that way, in such a lucrative way. I would argue that Google got really good in the last sort of 7 years at making money from broader intent rather than specific intent. So, and we know this because Google Ads platform and the control it gives advertisers has changed so much. So 10 years ago, I could run a campaign with an exact match keyword with one ad and tell it cannot show this ad to anyone else. That has been taken away from me now, where Google reserves the right to show that same ad to someone searching similar to that. So again, if you think about that, I've gone from sort of 10 searches that were bullseye to 10 searches plus 90 others that are not quite bullseye.
Sure. Yeah.
And so Google, again, the reason why its stock has been all-time high in the last year is because its revenue input from channels like this has just gotten so good.
Yep.
So I'm poised to see how Google responds with a model like that that's going to make them more money.
Absolutely.
Now, again, instead of cost per click or cost per conversation, it could be revenue share. We saw GPT in between the last time we spoke, did basically GPT was taking a cut of sales on Shopify, and it was almost taking 10% of the revenue rather than 100 clicks to get the product.
Wow.
So I think, again, cost per conversation might come through and revenue share models might come through, where AI becomes your sales advisor, basically.
Think that's a good thing?
I think so, because I just hope that GPT, your AIs will kind of work for the user, not necessarily the brand.
Yep.
We'll find a middle ground of it.
Yep. That'd be great, actually, wouldn't it? If you just, they only get paid when you make the money.
Exactly. And like, if GPT knows, someone's income is low that month, it probably really should advise not to spend right now. We recently made a consumer unease index. This consumer unease index was designed to try to help visualize to our clients the reason why they shouldn't have been spending over the last couple of weeks with the fuel prices hitting record high.
Yeah.
Half of my clients wanted to double down and go harder on spend. The other half were really unsure whether they should be doing anything. But what they didn't have was a valid reason on how consumers were feeling. A lot of the data we get at a really high level in the media industry is quite slow, and it's based on surveys still. And so what we wanted to do with this consumer unease index is take live data from a few sources like Google Trends and stuff like that, and actually show our clients to the day how people are feeling.
Yeah.
On average in Australia, that index number of unease for the last 5 years has been floating around 80, and it hit 294 at the very end of March 2026.
Wow.
So like, you could have been someone like Leica or Koala or whatever going, we're not going to hit our target, let's spend more in marketing. But the reality is there's less people to sell to who actually had money to go for it. So the losers there were the people, the brands, and the only winners were the platforms taking the money.
Yeah, sure.
And so again, I hope AI has an ability to actually ground everyone and under the guise of just because you can doesn't mean you should.
Yeah. So you're asking if Google or any of these huge organizations have a heart, basically?
I guess. Which might bring a rise of user-centric LLMs and agentic to agentic search, which is my LLM will talk to your LLM, person to brand.
Work together.
I think that's where it will naturally go. But we need open source AI to do that. We need like we, the people, need to take power of that.
Mm.
Otherwise, we're always going to be in the pocket.
Mm.
Which is why it's grown so fast. And again, if you think about how fast the change has been, even in the last, it's been a year since we've spoken, and AI is only ever as, it's the worst it's going to be today has been a fact for like the last 2 years.
The worst it's going to be.
Yeah, every day was the worst it was going to be.
Oh.
And it's gotten better and better and better every day.
Yeah.
To the point now where I'd say the giants are all cool. The people, we need our own kind of LLM really.
Yeah.
And almost like, remember in the sort of like early 2000s, you spent more money on a McAfee firewall than you did for anything else because the internet was a dangerous place.
Yeah.
What's the equivalent of McAfee for us now in AI?
There isn't one.
There isn't one really, is there?
Yeah.
But again, open source projects are critical to that, I think.
Yeah.
So
changing times,
right?
It is big
like
time.
if you think about it, like Tom, you've got all this context. Your phone knows a lot more about you than you might do, but like it's all on their service. When you like to have control of that yourself and just go, hey, I actually am in market for a new car right now. You guys come pitch me.
I recently swapped from ChatGPT to Claude.
Same.
I exported all my data from ChatGPT.
Yep.
Put it into Claude. I have an Aura ring that, that measures your heart rate and stuff. I'm sick of paying subscriptions. I'll probably stop that. But I exported all that data and put it into Claude.
Yeah.
And then just during this process, I'm like, hang on. It just knows too much about me.
Yeah.
It'll know my heart rate. It'll know everything, which, is good and bad. You can use it for good and evil, I guess. And we're just hoping that these massive organizations don't use it for evil one day. Anyway, that's a rabbit hole.
But I think, the point there you've got about having your heart rate in a smart ring or your smartwatch connected to a big behemoth, they'll know that you're watching a certain piece of content and it's creating an emotional response. So is that intent? Is that interest? Potentially.
Yeah.
I think again, that's where things are going to go with the med tech and the wearables and the collision of all of this.
Yeah.
Is phone detects a certain ad on screen or movie on screen, detects unease in user. It's very close to Judge Dredd. Is it Judge Dredd? No, the one where I've forgotten it. There's a movie where it's like, here, take a pill. Like
Matrix.
Maybe not quite Matrix.
No.
But anyway, it's going to be close to that point where they're going to know that we are uneasy and now present a solution to user.
Yes. Have you read Sapiens? Have you read Sapiens? No. Oh, read it. And then so Sapiens is about history of the world and civilization.
Yeah.
Really intelligent book. And then the second one is Homo Deus, and I think that's the right title. And it's a look forward. And it does just go, this is written ages ago too, by the way, before AI stuff. And it goes into, wearable, like becoming half robot. Anyway.
Yeah, we really are.
Scary times. I want to talk about visual things. We're a video production company. We do photography. So what are you seeing anything in the data in regards to like a fake AI image compared to real people? Are you seeing anything yet?
Yeah, I saw a really good one this morning, actually. It's one of those, it's not the, those guys who go out and try and find the scammers. It wasn't Scammer Payback. It was the Scottish guy. I got his name.
Yeah.
But he was on a video call with someone and he was trying to confirm whether they were AI. And one of his first questions were, is that picture real on the back? And he picked it up and showed it him.
Wait. What's the context? What's the situation?
He's trying to be sold something.
On a video call.
On a video call. Yeah. So he's trying to teach us how to be more aware of that person could be a deep fake.
Okay.
The person on the other end of the call did grab the images off the wall and showed it to them. However, when he tried to ask him to put 3 fingers in front of his face, it resisted and resisted and resisted. And every time it went to go do it, sometimes you'd see this little finger move away like that, and it couldn't do it. And the bot ended up taking a deep breath and ending the Zoom call. It even leant forward to press end on the Zoom. And I couldn't believe it. But
took a deep breath as well.
It took a deep breath. It really, you could hear it. And again, it was complete deep fake.
Oh,
it was a fake video agent.
That scares me.
Yeah. So apparently 3 fingers in front of the face.
Very important. That's a good test.
Yep.
That scares me. But it could go and pick up a picture off the wall. And
Yeah. There's no limit to what it can do now. So I think we need to be very mindful of all of that now.
Do you think people are being fatigued by AI content?
Absolutely. I think Meta's ruling recently of mental health in ads, if you rewind 3 years ago, we didn't even have reels, right? And I mean, who made the business decision to make these reels repeat and repeat and repeat and repeat? I think, that's come onto YouTube. I think it was a very dangerous decision to make because it overwhelms us all.
And it's endless.
And guess what? It's easier to do when you're overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Self.
Yeah.
Which is disappointing.
Yeah. And when you're tired, my willpower goes down the drain when I'm tired or, overwhelmed.
I checked recently the volume around like digital detoxing trends at the moment. It's going up and up and up. People are becoming more aware of it. And again, really proud of Australia for having the social media rules for under 16s. I think it's good. I think we're a brilliant test market for the world on that. Whether that will roll out into other countries, I have no idea. Probably Europe. I'm sure they will follow suit. But again,
if they see, mental health improving and have these real metrics, why wouldn't you?
But they've also inadvertently pushed it underground as well. In a sense of
the Australian government.
Well, I guess like if a young person under the age of 16 really wants to go and get access, they'll be able to, right?
Yeah.
Which kind of makes it a tedious balance, really. Which again, education around why you can but you shouldn't is probably more important than telling you straight up you can't.
Yeah. Do you think real authentic video, and I pray that we can still tell what that is, will become a premium and will become more sought after and more watchable?
I think so. I think more brands today are worried about video scale, that it does invite shortcuts such as full deep fake videos from, that's not the real founder you think you're talking to or listening to right now. But the reality is because the medium has shifted from being very text-based in forums to being, no, I expect a full production video right now while I haven't even got out of bed yet. I think the expectation from multiple generations has shifted towards, sell me on video, make me feel something, and then I might buy your product.
Yeah.
Entertain me.
Yeah.
Or help me with this thing that I want. And so that kind of brings me back to the reason why at Intender we have the framework of interruption, interest, and intent is because we need to classify those human behaviors so that we can help brands add value to them rather than looking at them like channels. If you look at them like channels, you get a bit of a mishmash of messages and journeys and one channel trying to claim that it's better than another channel.
Yeah.
I think the danger of becoming so AI reliant is that you forget about the heart behind it all. And that stops with you, the brand manager, I think.
Yeah.
Or the marketer or the product developer.
And that's why run clubs are more popular now, and why people are getting out and wanting real experiences.
Yeah.
I want to keep that going as long as I can at Raw Lens, keeping things human, keep meeting in person, doing a podcast in person, going to the CEO, talking to him off camera, putting him on camera. I love all of that experience. And for that to die would be terrible because I know you can do all these things without physically being here.
Yeah.
But then what's the point and what do you feel and what's the ripple effect of that? So I'm holding on for now.
Yeah. And look, I do it with my kids every day. They're the three biggest teachers of my life. And they're teaching me that being human is the most important thing. And they are showing me with their confidence in front of other people. I had someone mention the other day, wow, your kids are so strong and confident. They will talk to anyone. I was like, and I didn't realize how good that was until I sort of, saw other kids that, quite closed.
Yeah.
And afraid to speak up.
Yep. And what a skill, what an amazing skill to show up confidently, look someone in the eye, shake their hand, say, have a great day.
And ask why. I remember as a kid, I got scorned for saying why all the time, but it's probably still the most important question to ask as a kid.
Yeah.
And as long as my kids do ask me a question with why, they'll get my full attention.
Yeah. And you can ask Claude why all day long.
No, Claude.
No. Where do I go from here? You know that video? Do we answer enough around like, does it perform if it is a real person on camera? Like, do you know? I guess.
Yeah, I've got an anecdote of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, human-led video, a founder on camera, a client saying that I actually bought this product and had an amazing experience. This is what I did with it.
Mm-hmm.
What does that signal to the algorithm, and does it perform?
I think the algorithm's looking for genuine. Sorry, I think the algorithm is looking for genuineness, right? The other day we saw. Sorry, let me start again.
Yeah, you're right.
The algorithm's looking for authenticity, and I think authenticity still comes back through storytelling. Recently, we saw a video from two brothers who desperately, I think they wanted like a motorbike or a dirt bike or something like that, and they shared a mini story about their desire to get this thing and their challenge about having no money, and then they started their own fencing company, and they're literally like 19 and 20. As a result of them making this fencing company, they even show when they got their first client, how they, their first job they did, and now how they've got their bike. That was the hero's journey to a T.
So cool.
And they've literally gone viral because of how authentic it was.
Yeah.
Now, one thing that AI can't do necessarily is hit the like button, right? It's looking to see if you hit the like button.
Yeah.
There's bots in there, and I get that. There probably is. But ultimately, AI still, to do a good job, needs to see validation from the people.
Yeah.
And so those two lads who I think they're in Perth, who have gone viral as a result of that, they're like famous for being like a fencing company, but also for being genuine in the fact that they had a real hero's journey struggle. Yeah. And that the solution was actually to get off your butt and do some hard work, not necessarily become an influencer to try and make money. Right?
Yeah. There's something that stays with you about that journey, the hardship, the struggle, the success, the win, the whole hero's journey, as opposed to a shiny, bright AI video or someone doing something for a sugar hit. Yeah. Where it's like, that's funny, move on. Whereas that journey of those two guys, you're like, you hear about those two guys? Is that something you would talk about at the bar or at the cafe? Oh, these two young guys did this and that,
Totally.
If you're talking about someone else, it means you've done a great job.
I think so as well. And I think brands are trying to replicate that, but I think they're trying too hard. Like, do people love a skincare brand, or do they love the founder behind the skincare brand? You've only got to look at the ratio of founder followers to their companies themselves to see that there's actually like normally 5 times more people follow the founder than the actual brand, right? Yeah. And yet the brand's the one with the budget. Yeah. And so, even myself, like I put more effort into me than I do in Intender. Yeah. But equally, like my team, a lot of them are camera shy and they don't want to do that either. Yeah. Sure. And so I think authenticity will always reign. And I think, the BS detectors of the next generation are better than ever. Again, and I think just as algorithms and corporations catch up to that authenticity, they've probably already moved on to another community, right?
Yeah. Have you heard of Solid Techniques?
No.
It's a pan company in Noosa. Yeah. Australia-wide. They make their pans in Australia. They're one piece. They're a patented product, and it lasts for generations.
Nice.
You never throw it out. And the founder, Mark Henry, who I had on the podcast recently, is a bit of a genius, had a knife company, sold that for millions. Nice. And now he wanted to make a product that just you don't throw out, you keep forever. And now his dream is to show other companies how you can do that. Yeah. But anyway, after all this now, if you get that pan, if you buy that pan, you're probably going to tell the next person that as well. And I have got the pan now, and I feel like
I want the pan.
Well, I feel like I'm talking about this bloody pan. I don't care about pans, but I'm talking about a pan all the time now.
I'm actually a pan intender right now. I'm not even kidding. Like I am sitting there going, I don't want PFAS. I don't want any of that kind of stuff. I actually just want a good pan. I want 3 of them, to be honest, so I don't have to keep washing them all the time. But I do want a set that's good, and I think it's actually a really bad business model to make a product that doesn't break. And so good on Mark for doing it, because it means that he actually can focus on advocacy. And to focus on advocacy, you just got to be real.
Yeah.
I've recently just had a client where I'm helping them as a fractional CMO. They asked me what their launch strategy should be. I challenged them saying, I don't think we can ever hit this goal with paid media. They wanted 4 million users. And I said, I calculated that even at a CPA of $5, we're talking $20 to $30 million worth of paid media needed to do that, which the aha moment we all had is brands who need paid media ultimately have a crap product. Products that are really good don't need as much marketing. And so what I'm hoping we see in the future with AI and this all taking over is that we actually come back to our grassroots of, does the product do what it said it would on the tin? And if you can do that well enough, then just trust that it will go forward. And I think that sounds like a lot of hopium, but the ways that you as a brand can facilitate that would you rather give $10 to Mark Zuckerberg, or would you rather give $10 to a friend? I think a lot more people would rather do the latter, not the former. And so I've actually seen affiliate marketing, referral marketing become like a standard mix of my media plan now. And in many cases, at Intender, we don't make any money on that. We're just helping the clients set it up for themselves.
I was about to say, is this good business for you?
It's the right thing to do though, right? And it's okay. But I think like how we make money is by being the client's trusted advisor. That advice took 25 years for me to perfect. The challenge I had is that with the revolution of AI, the value of everything has dropped, because everyone's perception on how long it took me to do it is minutes, not decades. And that's probably, again, bringing it full circle back to authenticity. We need to know our value, because AI can just swoop in and bamboozle me and show me that it's nailed the brief. But it's only nailed the brief because of the decades of content it's ingested. But ultimately, the effort you put into the prompt and the context you put into the prompt, that's kind of key to all of it working. But just because you can doesn't mean you should. I feel that brands need to come back to their roots of product-led marketing. It's not really a thing you hear much anymore, but I would argue that everyone's doing it. They're just not mindful while they're doing it. You know, if you go, how do we get more good reviews? You know, we need to go pay for reviews. No, you don't. You need to make a better product. And a better product needs less marketing, less paid media, and more advocacy and more better customers as a result.
And it can be, it doesn't have to be a shiny, flashy product. It can be something as boring as a pan. If people love it, and if it's authentic, people will talk about it, share it, review it, and do all those beautiful things.
Totally. But like, you know, you get one good customer to refer 3 others. That's a very good business model. It doesn't matter if the product lasts 40, 50 years. In
the service industry, I always believe that, you know, you're only as good as your last job. And so it's such an old-fashioned.
In the media industry, I say you're only as good as your last meeting.
There you go. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's it. The last experience you have with whoever it is is what they go away with. And will they refer you on? Will they say to their mate, geez, I met with Tom Rawlins today. Rawlins, geez, they are amazing.
Exactly. And
look now.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say, like, there was brands that have done really well with that, like Tom's shoes. Like, they built advocacy into their shoe sales product, but they did it in a way to sort of remove the guilt behind buying it. Right. Again, if you buy these shoes, an unfortunate child or a less fortunate child will get one, which was kind of good, but it wasn't, you know, it had some good brand, legs as well. People would talk about Tom's shoes, but again,
brand feet.
Yeah. But it didn't necessarily have like a measured referral mechanic in there. And I think last time we spoke, we said that PR was going to be hot this year. It already is. And PR is one of the keys to be mentioned in GEO at the moment in AI search results. But also the second most, maybe even the most important actually now, is probably the product symptoms. Like, what does your product solve? You know, if you're saying it's just a great pan that lasts long, I'd say there's probably another 50 uses of that pan that even maybe the manufacturer, you know, Mark himself might not be aware of. So the job for myself as an advisor is to help them see that and prioritize some of those mini journeys, which then comes back to mini videos, mini stories, mini distribution,
maybe
even mini referral campaigns.
Yeah.
Like,
Absolutely.
you know, you might see, instead of just one-to-one referrals, it might be, you know, if you're a parent, there's a parent referral program that's different to a non-parent referral program, because the value of a parent might be better to a business than a non-parent in some cases. So it'd be interesting to see where that goes.
Love it. You're a wealth of knowledge as always, and we should check in just maybe on a monthly basis just to keep tabs on where we're at in this ever-changing world of marketing. I appreciate you as always. Thank you so much for coming and sharing.
Pleasure. Thank you very much.
Hey everyone, thanks for watching the show. This podcast is truly a passion project for me and the small but awesome team behind the scenes. We pour our hearts into bringing you these honest and insightful conversations. But I can't tell you how much it helps when you hit that follow or subscribe button. The show gets bigger, which means we can expand the production and we can continue to bring in amazing guests from all walks of life. Please help us to do this thing that we love and hit that follow or subscribe button. We appreciate you being here. Thank you.